Hi, sweet friend. So today I wanted to do a quick video on how I'm trying to stay more organized. I have a lot of art supplies, not just watercolors, all kinds of different supplies, but even with just watercolors, I needed some help with organizing. So right now my studio looks like a hot mess. There's stuff everywhere on the floor, but I realized that I didn't have a good enough system to organize my watercolor paints. Just starting from the most simple of things, which I use all the time. So currently, my solution to this problem was just having a big old bag of watercolor tubes. And then whenever I would need to refill my palette, my palette looks like this, I always dread trying to deal with that because it takes me so long to sort through all these colors. Every single time I have to find them. So I went to Daiso. If you're not familiar, Daiso is a Japanese store. It's very affordable. Things are very nicely priced there. So for example, this little set, I think it was like $3 or $4. And this was just perfect for what I needed. There's lots of like stationery stuff you can buy there, stuff for your kitchen, for like your home. And if you have a Daiso around you, I highly recommend you check it out, especially for organization stuff, which I feel like can get really expensive. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to organize my watercolor tubes. Love this. Look at this. So now I can dump all of these in here, and I can finally sort these by color. So I'm gonna put all my greens in one drawer. Let's see. Oh, I'm already like feeling so much better about this purchase, or just the solution to my problem, because I just got overwhelmed with the lack of organization in my studio. And then every time I do a watercolor workshop or have an event, my studio just gets out of control, you guys. And I'm just trying to find a way to keep it organized so that I don't have to constantly feel the way I do. So I'm gonna have a whole little drawer full of paints. And then, let's see, my purples. And then the blues. And one thing that I might also do is I might label these with all the different colors that I'm sorting them by. So I don't know if everyone knows this, but labeling things is amazing. That was first time I was kind of introduced to that was by my therapist, who noticed that I'm like, she noticed my anxiety levels, and then she asked me, like, when you prepare for a workshop, like, are your things organized? And so she made me like describe to her everything that I do. And then we realized that I had like a whole drawer of things, but none of the drawers were labeled in any way. So then she recommended, it sounds so obvious, but if you are like me, maybe if you have struggle with anxiety, like, I highly recommend just trying some different things that kind of helps minimize. So obviously, like, the anxiety won't go away if you organize things, but it helps keep the symptoms a little bit more under control. And I'm all about that. Let's see. I'm gonna have a whole drawer of my browns and yellow ochres. I like to use lots of browns, especially when I do food illustration and like pastries and stuff. Put my whites in there too. And let's see. Gonna have a whole nother drawer for the grays and the blacks. Let's see, green over here. And my pinks. And the blues here. Oh my gosh. This is awesome. This is awesome. And of course, like, you don't have to get these from Daiso. If you don't have a Daiso near you, I'm really sorry. If you go to a city where there is one, definitely gotta visit if you're into art supplies and organized things. But look at this. Now, this is so much better than having them all in one box and then having to sift through all of this. Alright, so here's another thing that I got from Daiso. It's a bamboo table mat, and I am going to use that to store my brushes. So whenever I am traveling and I don't want my brushes to be, to get ruined if they're in the bag or something, I can put them inside of this mat. Let me show you. Oh, and this big guy can work in here. So I'm just gonna essentially back them up in here. And now I might get a rubber band or something to go around it, but now I can just slide it into a backpack and they won't get damaged. Okay, I'm really excited about this tiny chair. Also found it at Daiso, and I'm going to be using it for whenever I do plein air sketches outside. So let me test it out. Oh, it works. All right, I have this big clipboard. Let's see, I think it was around $2 or $3, something like that. And I'm really excited to use it because I want to do bigger watercolor pieces, and I didn't have a board, so I used a very cheap frame that is not very great for this. But now that I have this, I can work on larger pieces. So I'm trying to, don't get these cheap frames for posters. They are the worst. By the way, I did not get that frame from Daiso, but I wanted to show you. So this is a fairly large piece. And I mean, I can clip it, but I will probably be using washi tape to hold it down. Okay, not really an art supply, but I do need it for my office. The little tiny clock is so cute. Okay, you guys, this was like $1.75 for one of these. And I got several because I need to organize things. And also these were priced at the same price. So I think I'm gonna put some pens in here so I can easily find them. So I got one of these flat containers to store all my gouache, and I know since I don't paint with gouache that often, I'm okay with not having them organized by color. Also, I don't have that many shades of colors in here. Then I have another set for acrylic gouache, which is kind of similar to gouache, but it's acrylic, so that fits nicely in here. And I love that these are transparent because I can see right through the box and I can see what's in here. Then I got one of these tall boys for the different inks that I have, not necessarily watercolor related, but it's a nice way. I like that they fit in here. And then I'm gonna use another one of these for, so these are watercolor grounds that I use to, if I want to do paint on a wooden panel, I need to first do a coat of white paint and then do watercolor grounds, which allows me to paint with watercolors on top. So I like that these, this one might be empty. Oh yeah. So these fit in here very nicely. Let's see if I can get, oh yes, actually, even though this one's empty, 5 of these do fit in here, which I really like. All right. So I got this stack and this stack, and I think I'm gonna put all of my micron pens in here so I can see them a lot easier, and this is a better storage solution than this. One last thing, not art supply related, but it looks so fun. I had to get it. It's a little dust mitten. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I am very happy with these containers. They were super cheap and they're clear so I can see right through them, and I'm also gonna put labels. If you have any other recommendations of how to stay organized inside a studio or an office, please let me know. I really need it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.